Hello, I've had an artist recommended to me again and again by a couple people through my email, and I decided to listen to their debut album last year, and I did find it quite dark for its story and characters. Today, we will be talking about Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain, which was released in 2022. Ethel Cain is a character played by Hayden Silas Anhedönia. The music that Ethel Cain creates centers around dark stories that often have references to the church, abuse, romance, and the southern states of the USA. There is allegedly a storyline that connects all these releases to the character's backstory, but some of the stories juxtapose each other and make it really confusing to follow, so we will be primarily focusing on The Preacher's Daughter only, which is Ethel Cain's debut album. The album opens with an intro version of a song that appears further into the album called Family Tree, which sets up the story for the album, describing how Ethel Cain has been doomed since their birth to die a horrible death, no matter what they do to avoid it. Even if they change their whole lifestyle, they will never be able to change the way their mind seems to lure them into dangerous scenarios.
Jesus can always reject his father.
This is followed by the lively American Teenager, which sounds like something that would be ideal for an indie film montage sequence. The song goes into the loneliness that Ethel Cain feels from day to day, as they have lost their partner and their father. They try to find some kind of happiness in drinking, but end up feeling even more lonely, questioning their religion and their life choices.
It's just not my year, but I'm all good.
A house in Nebraska continues this feeling of longing for more, with Ethel Cain reminiscing about wanting to pursue the dream life that they once had with their partner, but even as they are reminiscing, they can see their relationship was already in a bad way, with there being long moments of silence and a general unease around each other when they were speaking. It's clear in the song that their partner left a long time ago, even though the partner's mother still rings Ethel to check in on them, but it's very clear that this relationship ended a long time ago, but Ethel is still clinging to it, like it is still alive and possible to continue.
Mama calls me sometimes to see if I'm doing well.
Western Night seems to find Ethel Cain with a new partner they found, who is attracted to them physically, but there seems to be a barrier between them emotionally, as Ethel finds it hard finding out about them on an emotional level, but they still love them and want this relationship to continue. This new partner, however, seems to be constantly getting into violent skirmishes, and is often seen bruised and beaten.
But if you love me like you say you do, would you ask me to?
This ends up catching up to them in the next song, Family Tree. Ethel Cain ends up killing someone. It is unknown who is killed, but I think it could either be their partner, someone who is threatening their partner, or a police officer. Either way, Ethel Cain decides that they have to escape their hometown now, or they will be caught. Whilst this is happening, they also decide to reminisce about their life up to this point, and decide to finally confront themselves about what really happened in their past, as to move on from this moment, they must also be free from anything that is holding them back.
Daddy said shoot first and run and don't look back.
The song Hard Times follows, and confronts these memories, with Ethel still chained to feelings of happiness with their father, who they desperately want to believe is a good person, but after reflecting on everything that he did to them when they were younger, they decide that they can't separate from him even if they wanted to, as he is the only memory of happiness that they have ever had.
Where happiness ends and dies with you.
In Thoroughfare, Ethel Cain meets a new character called Isaiah, who invites Ethel to go on a road trip with him to California to find the person he loves, to which Ethel agrees. For a while they are happy with Isaiah, and they think that they are in love with him. As the time goes by and they get to California, they haven't been able to find Isaiah's old partner, so they decide to start exploring the west of America with each other.
You said, hey, do you wanna see the West with me?
In Gibson Girl, Isaiah starts to take advantage of Ethel's sexual awakening by selling her wherever they go for drugs, money and alcohol, but the client Isaiah gives Ethel to keep getting more and more violent with them until Ethel can no longer distinguish between love and lust, resulting in being taken advantage of more and more by Isaiah himself.
Fuck me right now. You wanna see me on my knees.
Plutomia seems to start with Ethel being severely sedated by the drugs and alcohol they have been given, and putting up with whatever Isaiah is doing to them, until the acts become so violent that they break free of Isaiah, screaming as they run away.
Stop! Stop!
August Underground is a murky instrumental piece that seems to follow this pursuit as Ethel finds a hiding place in the attic of Isaiah's home and slowly starts to fade away. The title of this song is a reference to the found footage horror film August Underground, whose main character Peter seems to share similar tendencies of lust and violence to Isaiah. Televangelism is another instrumental that, in my opinion, sees Ethel starts hallucinating that they are in church and starts reminiscing about a happier time in their life. Sunbleach Flies details Ethel watching their body slowly starting to decompose and starts thinking about everything that led to this happening and wishes that things could have ended differently.
I wouldn't give to be in church this Sunday.
Strangers ends the album with Ethel watching Isaiah eating their body and praying that their mother doesn't feel guilty for what has happened to them when she inevitably finds out what has happened to their child. Ethel prays that they will see their mother again one day, wherever they are now.
You're so handsome when I'm all over you.
In my opinion, this album gets quite dark in the latter half of the album and is a lot more interesting to listen to in my opinion, as the instrumentals become a lot less reverb covered and you can actually hear what's being played, which is nice on songs like Thoroughfare, Plutomia and Televangelism. The songs that I think the reverb works on are also on the side of the album, and even on American Teenager, which I still think sounds a bit too silly for this album's overall quite dark sound. But in my opinion, I think the incredibly heavy reverb on the first side of the album really lowers this album's quality, as you can barely hear the lyrics and make it even harder to try and understand the story of the album. Overall, I would give this album a 6 out of 10 on the general scale, and if I were to rate this as a dark album, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.